Incompetence Pod.
Welcome to the Perpetual Incompetence Podcast, a journey in competitive self-improvement.
Bear witness as the three of us endeavor to improve our lives by competing in a series of low-stakes challenges.
In each episode, we will come up with a challenge and then define the rules or metrics for victory.
We will have 2 weeks to do our best, and at the end, one of us will be crowned victor. Hi, I'm true believer and poetic soul Mike Collins.
Hello, I'm Master Yogi, Master of Wind, and the Songsmith, Dan Collins.
And I'm Future Corpse, Travis Screenicus Brabant. We each have one idea for a challenge for us to attempt in the next 2 weeks. After we've all presented, we'll decide whose idea is the best. Who wants to go first?
I will.
All right,
So we are all pretty busy guys. We got a lot of, Dan just bought a new house. We're always trying new things and, starting projects and stuff. Mm-hmm. So my submission is that we make the most headway on our current personal outstanding projects.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, for instance, some things I need to put baseboard trim in my living room, and I have an old Game Boy that I'm refurbishing. So, so it can be anything. And what my idea for how we can do the metric is actually, I think, pretty good. So we will all kind of make a list of the things that we did. You don't necessarily need to complete them, but make headway on them. Sure. So what we'll do as a group when we get back together is say, I did this much on this task, and then we as a group will rate them between 1 and 100. And then the person with the highest score wins. So like a 1 would be like, I clipped my toenails. And 100 would be like, I built a new house, or something.
Sure.
So something like that. And I have a pretty good honorific that I came up with for this one. It's Harbinger of Completion.
That's okay. It's an okay one.
That's a good one because I have so many things to do with my new house that's mostly broken.
Sure.
Yeah.
I feel like I would sweep the floor with you guys on that one just because I have so many like millions of little things I need to do.
I don't know, man. I feel like my house has just been spawning new projects, perpetually. So
all right, okay,
okay, that's a good one. I'll go next, I think.
Okay.
So I have an idea for a challenge that has the most potential for improvement on a couple different spectrums. I don't know about you, Dan, but Mike, you and I don't think we cook food very often. I certainly don't. I don't actually know that much about cooking. But I think for the next 2 weeks, we should plan our meals and stick with our plan rigidly. We should do kind of like your weekly meal prep or whatever. Like there's like an idea that you cook once and eat all week. I think we should, tomorrow would be a freebie. We'd be able to plan and do whatever. But then for all of the following week, we would only eat the food that we had cooked tomorrow. And then the same with the following week.
Or like prepped tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah. And
what about like eating at restaurants, that sort of thing?
You could, but that would count against you. I think the way you would win this challenge would be the least additional food eaten would be the primary objective. And then the secondary objective would be the least amount of money spent on the ingredients that you use to prep your food.
Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting.
That's kind of a money, like a budgeting and a meal plan kind of thing.
Yeah, planning your meals, cooking your food, and saving money.
I do like that. I mean, this is definitely something that I could improve upon. Just be like a functioning human being.
I feel like I'm able to cook, but I don't. I usually get like a frozen pizza or something.
Right.
The
Well,
thing
what
I
if
cook most of the time is like spaghetti.
I mean, I don't think there would be anything wrong with the frozen pizza as long as it was
Yeah.
part of your plan, right?
Yeah, you can
Okay.
plan it out, and if that's what you wanted to do, if you wanted to have a frozen pizza every day, or the whole thing is just like you make your plan and then you stick to it. You don't do any supplementary purchases. You don't go buy and go and buy donuts or that sort of
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not necessarily about eating healthier. It's just making a plan. It's like budgeting your um food.
Yeah, budgeting and like Mike, we've talked about this before. There's a phenomenon called decision fatigue. So by doing this, you kind of front load all of your decisions about what you're going to eat to the beginning of the week, and then you don't need to put any thought at all towards it the rest of the week. You just know exactly what you're going to eat and don't have to even worry about it.
I
That
like
does
it. I
sound kind
like
of
it.
nice.
It does, yeah. I mean, I really like it in theory. Practically, I'm not sure, but okay, yeah, that's a pretty good one.
All right. Well, so I'm assuming you guys like money. Um,
Uh,
I
Hate
also
it.
like money, but you probably want to have
the root of all evil, man.
more money. Well, also the root of being able to buy things and you know.
That's true.
Yeah, you got me
But
there.
so what I'm trying to say here is that we should try to figure out people are always talking about, get rich quick schemes and all that sort of stuff. I think we should try to find a get rich quick scheme that works. And we should try to make the most money outside of our regular jobs.
Okay.
Because let's say you had an emergency and you, for some reason, didn't have anything in your savings or anything like that. You needed to make a quick buck in 2 weeks.
Sure.
More than your job, nothing illegal, but
I was gonna say there's a
Um,
couple things I could probably say. To you.
yeah. But like, and I'm talking any way to make money,
Okay.
So that's my proposal because
That
self-improvement, does require finances generally.
that's true.
That sounds like so much work, though. You know what I mean?
It's got a pretty clear metric though. Like it would be
Yeah, who
just a
makes the
dollar
most
amount.
money?
Who can make the most money?
Yeah.
Um,
Man, I don't even know where I would begin there.
Yeah, that would be a challenge for sure, but it would be pretty interesting to see what we could come up with, I think.
Yeah.
yeah, and it wouldn't be limited to just like one thing, like
Yeah.
if you have something you could sell or some quick little side job or I don't know, however people make money on the side.
Donate plasma or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
Okay.
that's a good one. I like that. These are all three good options, I think.
They
Yeah.
are one of our better submissions. Yeah. So is everybody kind of leaning towards their own still, or do we need to?
I'll say I'm leaning away from yours, Mike, just
Oh.
because I don't have that many big projects right now. In order to put myself on the same degree of potential for success as you two, I would have to take on new projects, which I'm not looking to start right now. But that's really my only reservation. I could go either way. I like all of them, so.
Well,
I
I
don't feel too
know
strongly.
you have a lot of hobbies though. So it could be something as much as doing work towards one of your hobbies. You know,
Practicing an instrument, would that even
right?
count?
Yeah,
Sure.
I would say so. I mean, that's more of a skill, but it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Would this would be, I don't know, would working on our shared project be counted? Our video game?
I
I
think
think
so.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
say definitely.
Okay.
So
So then I've got some things I could do.
yeah, and I because I don't know, I got a ton of stuff I can work on, so I would be pretty psyched to working on to do this. But I don't know. I guess out of all our threes, I think I like mine the best still.
What about you, Dan? Where do you land?
Well, I also really want to do mine. But it might be because I might have already thought about it a little bit, and I have some good ideas. So I mean, I guess if you guys don't, it might be a little unfair in that sense that I've thought about this for a little bit.
Yeah, there's also the kind of constant thing where Dan has more free time than we do. So.
There's that, yeah.
Which I mean, I guess gives him an advantage in pretty much all of these, except for maybe the meal planning one. So
yeah. I mean, I guess if we're doing the thing that the voting thing, if I had to pick between you two, I would probably lean towards Mike. I think, mostly because I'm not sure where I would start with the meal plan thing. I guess it would have a day to figure it out.
Okay, if I was picking between you two, I think I would probably go with Travis's, just because I think I know where to go with that one.
Okay.
So one for Mike, one for Travis. Travis is leaning away from Mike, so one for me.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about.
Well,
I guess we're just gonna do all of them. I guess.
No.
Have we been here before where we can't pick one?
No.
We could roll a 3-sided dice or something.
I'm willing to take mine off the table if that helps.
Well, I mean, we don't need to.
If you are taking yours off the table, then I'm going back to mine.
That's against the rules. Okay, so the options are spend a bunch of time making progress on your outstanding projects, find a way to hustle and make some additional money on the side. Does selling things count? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think just any amount of money you can get quickly.
Okay. And then lastly would be doing meal planning and cooking and that sort of stuff. Go ahead,
I was gonna say I am willing to take mine off the table if we go Travis's. I don't want to do Dan's. It sounds hard. I don't know what direction to go with that one, but with Travis's, I at least could kind of go somewhere with it. Yeah.
How about we? Dan, you said you would go with Mike's if you were to choose.
I think I would lean towards Mike's. Yeah.
Okay, so then let's do that.
Do Mike's?
Yeah, because if Dan's yours, yeah, let's just go with Mike's.
All right, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was gonna go through a whole explanation, but like Dan, you lean towards Mike's, right, on your decision, and then I didn't end up voting, but I was going between you or Mike, and I'm ambivalent, honestly. So,
all right,
great. Let's do that then. So okay, with that being said, we need to pick. Are you guys good with that metric? So just to kind of restate, after the 2 weeks, we would submit all the things that we did. And then and basically say that, I did this much work on this project, and then we rate it between 1 and 100. We try and agree quickly on a number, and then then we'll sum all of our stuff up, and then the person basically with the highest amount of points takes it.
okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Wherever possible, try to do before and afters. If you can do pictures or recordings, or if other ways to help demonstrate your point.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, sure. That makes sense. Well, I think everybody should try to squeeze as many points as they can out of their project. So whatever you can do to make it look more impressive, do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, as far as the honorific, what do you guys think of harbinger of completion?
I
Sounds
don't.
very
I think we can.
foreboding.
Yeah, I think we can maybe do better.
Say boating.
Foreboding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, harbinger is not generally like a like. He's the harbinger of ice cream. Not generally a good thing.
How about Bob the Builder?
Of the build. Well, not everything I'm going to be doing is building, though.
That's true.
I mean, there's like your straightforward like Mr. Fix It or
Handyman.
Yeah.
Handyman Dan.
Yeah, I like.
It's the harbinger of ice cream. That's pretty good.
In my head, there's like so many bad ones.
Well, say
But
the
I-
bad ones. Spit it. Keep spitting them out. Maybe it might drive the conversation.
All right. Well, going with like the handyman Dan, for some reason my brain went to productive Pedro. I don't know. But productive is okay. Of some sort.
Productivity. Something.
Propagator of productivity.
That's okay. The busy beast. I don't know.
Busy Beaver.
Busy Beaver. Kind of like that.
The busiest beaver.
The busiest beaver. This isn't just like we're going for number one.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is we can't do much worse than Screen a Kiss, so
I don't know. That one's been growing on me.
How about just Mr. Productive? Dr. Productive?
something completionist.
Professor Productive? The
feel like-
completionist?
I feel like we might
that's
want to
a-
save. We might want to save the word professor for one later down the road.
King completionist or something like that.
The completion Kaiser.
Is Kaiser allowed? I know it's like just like a German word, but
It's Kaiser. It means king in German.
is
Pretty
it?
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna double check that though.
Might be worth it.
German emperor. Yep. All right. We're going to the point where I need to go to a thesaurus.
I do like Busy Beaver, or the Busiest Beaver. That's
I
my
do like-
favorite so far.
Yeah, I am fond of that one.
You just go the finisher.
The Finisher.
The finisher.
Sounds like the Punisher.
Yeah.
The Terminator. How about like Project Assassin?
Yeah, I was going in the same vein. Box checker.
Yeah.
The to-do list Terminator.
Yeah, the honeydew.
Honeydew destroyer. Dan doesn't have a honey though. Sorry, Dan.
I'm my own honey.
Yeah, I like the idea of having like honeydew and then just like annihilator. You know, something.
Honeydew doodly doo. How about the two did? Like to do, but you did it. Mr. Two did.
I feel like people would have more questions than anything on that.
I don't know. I'm kind of keep coming back to the busiest beaver. That's pretty good. We may not. We I don't think we're ever gonna do any better than that. Now that it's out there.
Yeah, the to-doist. There's the old
Todoist. Yeah.
I think busiest beaver might be as good as we get.
like
With
it.
all of these things, every time we do this, like an hour after we're done, I'm like, oh, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Was that an hour ago?
All right, let's go with the busiest beaver.
I like it. I like
I-
Busiest Beaver.
I like that. So forecast. Who do you think is going to do well in this? I know Dan has a lot to do. He also has a
Yeah,
lot
that
of
doesn't
free
mean
time.
I'm gonna do it.
I mean, Mike, you mentioned you've got some trim work to do. I have your air compressor, so I can kind of Shanghai you that way.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. It's For you, I mean, you guys have a lot. It sounds like I can kind of find some things. We've got some stuff to do outside. I'm
I
not
bet it's,
devoid of projects, but
I was gonna say, I bet if you ask your wife, she could probably come up with a bunch of stuff that she's been wanting you to do.
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of stuff. I find myself not having enough time to do the things I want to do already, but this might be the kick in the pants I need to at least do some of them.
Yeah,
Here's-
I'm sitting here, and in the room that I'm in, I can find like 100 different things I could work on right now.
Yeah, Mike may have just delivered you another win on a platter. Thanks,
Well,
Mike.
I also know that the things that Dan needs to do are kind of expensive. Like I got a lot of projects that I have all the stuff for. I just need to do them.
And should we add a little spice to the challenge in that when you do a home renovation product or projects, oftentimes you take one step forward and 6 steps backwards. Do those backward steps count against you?
Ooh, like you have to take something apart, but then you never
Yeah.
quite get it put back together.
So
Yeah.
maybe like the more if you start even more projects, those count against you. I like that.
Well,
I
I
like-
mean, like I think if you try to make progress but are forced to take some steps back, then it
Like if you
Right.
went to be like, oh, I'm going to replace the faucet in my bathroom, and now I have to replace my septic.
Yeah,
Like that's a negative in your favor or against you, I guess.
yeah. I like that. I
Okay.
think we can keep those definitions a little loose, and then just kind of they'll come up naturally as we're discussing them later on. Okay.
course,
I do
if-
have
if that
another
happens-
question. What about
Good.
if can people help you with these projects, or is this something that we have to do alone?
No, I would say it like for me, get like paying somebody to do our floor. That was a project within itself, you know.
Sure.
So
Okay.
I would say like just having projects that you need to do and getting them done by
Okay.
whatever means, you know.
Sure.
So, yeah. I don't know. You
Okay.
guys agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of, I guess, to an extent. As long as you're not like, great, I've got a construction crew coming tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't. I don't have anything planned.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll you know, at the end of the day, these aren't the highest stakes projects, and we'll all be better off than we started. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. All right, cool. So we have our challenge, we have our honorific, we have our metric. We are ready to go. Let's do this.
Hi, folks. While we're taking this break here, just wanted to stop and say thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. If you guys are enjoying the show, it's helpful if you leave a review or you comment, or just tell your friends about the show. You can do that in a lot of ways, whatever's convenient for you. We're on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. You can shoot us an email. That works great too. You can tell us what you're thinking about the show, or if you have any good ideas for challenges, we'd like to hear that as well.
yeah, so if you want to send an email, we're at perpetualincompetence@gmail.com. All one word, no spaces or hyphens or anything. And then on Twitter, we are at incompetentpod. And Instagram, we're perpetual_incompetence. All these links will be in the show notes for the podcast. So that's probably the easiest way for you to find them and to reach out to us.
If you'd like to join us in the challenges, we'll be posting them to Twitter as soon as we start them. We try not to discuss the challenges with each other during the 2 weeks while we are actually doing them, so that we can save those juicy morsels for when we come back to discuss them on the show. So we would love nothing more than to hear about your guys' experiences, thoughts about the show, or just pop in to say hello. So if the spirit moves you, we'd love to hear from you. Anyway, back to the show.
Welcome back to the Perpetual Incompetence Podcast. As a reminder, we recorded the first part of the podcast 2 weeks ago, and since then, we have worked to complete or make progress on as many projects as possible. Let's discuss initial thoughts and lessons learned first, and then we'll reveal our winner. Who wants to go first?
I would like to go first. This I would like to say first off that a lot of the a lot of the things that I could have been doing during these 2 weeks, I actually had done already during the Screenicus one when I was stuck at
Yeah.
home
Right.
without able to look at the screen.
Not the
The
best
time,
things to do back to back.
yeah, the timing
Yeah.
wasn't great. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I did when I was stuck at home, not able to do anything except like projects. So I
Yeah.
had already done a bunch of projects that I could have been doing.
It gives me hope to hear you say that.
um, I would say I'm a little disappointed in myself. Sitting here right now, I know I could have done more. I have things like if I had more time tonight, I could have done like 2 or 3 more projects tonight. But also at the same time, I feel like it's kind of vindicating that like the fact that like I really was pushing to do a lot of stuff, but I just did not have as much time as I thought I did.
Well,
Um, so like I kind of beat myself up sometimes that like, oh man, I have all these projects that I need to do. And I'm like, I'm just too lazy to do them. But I also truly don't have that much time in a day. And that's kind of what I took away from this.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to that sentiment, especially with kids.
Yeah.
One thing that I found was like we have a 6-month-old or almost 6 months, and last Saturday I was like, all right, it's the weekend. I'm gonna hit the ground running. I'm gonna get a bunch of stuff done. And then she was just like inconsolable all day, and we ended up finding out that she was teething. So I spent like all of Saturday just like holding on to our baby, which is fine, but doesn't lend itself towards completing projects. So.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely a study in like just do your best, I just I agree. I mean, I was running up against the same wall, you know. It takes effort to do things, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, effort
It takes
in like brain
time.
power. You have to like
yeah.
plan things out and get materials, and like it's
Yeah.
not just as easy as like show up and like do the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And well, I guess we'll get into what we did, but I spent more. I would say more than completing projects. I made progress. that's about.
Well, that's part of it.
That I
Counts.
mean, yeah. So yeah. So I agree, you guys. It was this challenge was kind of it wasn't as in the forefront of my mind, other than the fact that I felt like I should be doing things when I was watching TV.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
more than normal. Like I
Yeah.
feel like that all the time, but definitely more than normal this time. I felt that like I was if I sat down to watch a movie or something, like, oh no, I need to do like I just look and I'd see something on the side of the room and be like, oh, I could be fixing that right now. Or
That's
something,
Yeah.
exactly true. Well,
Yeah.
and like,
Well-
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. All right. I'll just say I agree in that like I didn't enjoy this challenge for sort of that reason that you're like kind of yeah. I mean the Screenicus thing, and then now it's like yep, I could be spending my time more wisely, but I don't want to. I want to relax and not have to think about anything.
Yeah.
So I did not enjoy this challenge, but I kind of it doesn't feel like self improvement really. This challenge. It's just kind of like doing things that you should be doing anyway, or I don't know. There is some value in like completing things. Like you feel better after having something done and checked off the list.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, I
go
would say
ahead.
I felt pretty stressed out. I would say this entire time because yeah, anytime I tried to just relax and enjoy myself, or like just go out and like hang out with friends or whatever, I felt that I should be at my house working on things.
Yeah.
So like if I'm definitely like an introvert and I want to just be at my house and I really enjoy my own company a lot. But I felt like that was magnified with this, where I just felt like I needed to be home and I needed to be doing things at home by myself and just like working on projects.
And we'll
which is
say,
good,
like,
but I at the end, I mean, now I honestly, there's a lot of weight off my shoulders from all these things I've been thinking about that I need to get done.
Yeah,
That I completed a
yeah.
lot of
yeah,
stuff that I've been wanting to do for a while.
but giving
I
ourselves this kind of artificial deadline, it creates unnecessary stress, I think, and it kind of robs some of the joy of it. Like sometimes you're like when you don't have a deadline or whatever, and then you get around to a thing. I think you feel better after having done something that I don't know, like something
it's
that's been
kind of
sitting for a while, and then you get
Purely
it
of your
done.
own
You're like,
volition.
yes,
it's
yeah,
kind of the difference between like doing something that you have to do at work versus like completing a personal project. Even though these were all personal projects, it felt like we
right.
it felt like we had the man, you know,
Yeah,
Cracking the
like
whip.
it was
whipping
like
us.
at work, we have somebody behind you, like looking over your shoulder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I was thinking about you guys. I'd be like, oh, they're gonna like write me an email later that says, why weren't you doing that, huh?
How about those TPS reports, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Who wants? Let's talk about what we did. Who wants to go get into their
I'll
stuff?
jump in. I'll go first here. Okay. So, as we go through this, actually, I think we need to rate them as we go.
Yeah.
So just as a refresher, the way that we're going to do this is we will say what we did, and then the other two people are going to basically give us a rating from 0 to 100 on how much work we think we put into that. And then we can argue it to a certain extent, but then the person with the most points after we list off all the stuff that we did, they win. And then we're going to add the 2 points that the people, that both Travis and Dan say about mine, and etc. So that's how we're going to do it. I think that was clear, right? More or less.
Clear enough.
Clear as mud. All right.
Yeah. Well, okay. Hold on. Are we basing this purely off effort, or are we talking about like project magnitude? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go with both.
Yeah.
It needs to be a kind of all encompassing number. So
Yeah, effort, progress, and challenge rating.
yeah.
How
Yep.
how hard was it? How much did you put into it? How much progress did you make?
Well, and also, does all of the effort have to be had been done in these last 2 weeks?
Yes.
Well, all the effort that we're rating ourselves on. I mean, if you were working on a project, you only get to count the stuff that you did for the past 2 weeks.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
All right.
All right.
We ready?
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it.
Okay. So the first one. So for the past like month or two, there's been a gnarly cat stench coming from my basement. And I've been trying to figure out what it was. Lindsay stays pretty good on top of the cat boxes. So like there's no reason for it to be real gnarly down there. So I spent maybe like an hour trying to figure out what it was, and I found it. And apparently the cats had been using my empty aquariums. I have like 4 big aquariums down there as litter boxes. So
Gross.
yeah, it's disgusting. So that also leads into my second one, where I moved all the aquariums, all my empty ones, out of my basement, which was one of the projects that I had. So they're in my garage now. So
Wait, is that 2 projects or is that
I'm
one?
counting that as 2 projects because I found the cat stink and I got the aquariums out of my basement.
So,
what?
discovering the smell, you're counting as one project?
Well, discovering and removing. Discovering and
I
removing.
feel like I'm gonna count that as one.
Okay, that's why I said them both. So we
Okay.
can. Okay, so
Right.
now, just for the listeners' sake, I'm a big nerd, and I have a lot of
Hold on,
aquariums.
we want to. We're gonna give this a number now, right? Before we move on.
Yeah, but no. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to let everybody understand how many fish tanks were in my basement.
Yeah,
there
you
would,
have a
I would
lot
say
of fish tanks.
there are too many. I have too many in my basement.
How many? Because that dictates kind of the effort, right?
All right, so I took out 5 big ones.
They are big. I've seen them.
and they're stands.
They're like, how many gallons are we talking? Like 100 gallons?
The smallest one is a 30 gallon. The biggest
Okay.
one that I removed was a 55.
Okay.
How much time would you guess it took you after having discovered the source of the smell?
Okay, so after the hour or so that it took to discover the source of smell, it probably took me, well, so I had to take them out, and then I had to dump out all the stuff and dispose of it, and then move all that after kind of rinsing it off into my garage. So that was probably like 3 to 4 hours total.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I'll give that. I feel like I'll give that. I'm feeling like a 65 on that one. That seems like a pretty good project.
That's really cool. I was giving it a 60 for the unpleasantness of the task.
Yeah.
All right. I will not contest that. That seems fair to me. Okay, task number 2, I disassembled, repaired, cleaned, and reassembled our piano. Lindsay did help me with this. But basically we took the piano apart, took all the guts out of it because there's like things clicking. We found like marbles and Legos and stuff, googly eyes, which are just dispersed throughout our house like confetti for some reason.
Yeah.
So
the flotsam and jetsam of kids.
yeah. So we took apart the piano, cleaned it, and put it back together, and I like lubricated parts and stuff, so it doesn't have sticky keys anymore.
How long would you say that took?
That's probably about 2 hours of work. Lindsay helped me on it though. So.
Okay.
And in fact, I would say Lindsay did most of the cleaning part of it.
The number that jumps in my head is 55.
I was gonna say 50.
Okay.
We're on the same page.
It sounds
here, Travis.
Yeah, we are. Same wavelength. That sounds really hard. I've never done that, so I don't have any perspective on it, but it sounds
pianos
hard.
are big and they're pretty easy to open and get into. I don't know. I mean, our mom was a piano tuner, and Mike I know is very in tune with piano. So I don't think that was much of a challenge for you. That was probably just it would be like cleaning out a refrigerator for you. But it is still like a thing that you did. I'm gonna give it a 50 just straight down the middle.
Okay. That's
you're tracking your numbers, right, Mike?
Yeah, I got them.
Okay.
Okay. The one that I stuffed the most time into was I put about maybe 12 hours of work into our video game. And I started breaking that down by task, and then I realized nobody in the world is going to know what I'm talking about, and nobody's going to care. So
even we probably wouldn't really know what you're talking about.
I made beeps and boops on my computer. So
12 hours.
Okay. About 12 hours, yeah.
That's more hours than I put into it. And that I know you're doing a lot of hard technical work on that. That's a high one. I feel like that's like 80.
Yeah, I was gonna go 70. That's a significant time investment, and it is hard. We're kind of getting back into the rhythm, so there's some challenge there.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so the next one, I ripped out the rest of my kitchen ceiling and cleaned up after myself. So basically, I have this drop ceiling from the 50s in my kitchen. A big chunk of it got knocked out while we were installing a bathroom, and we've had this gaping hole in our kitchen. As it sits right now, it's still a gaping hole, but it's the entire kitchen. So it took me maybe 2 hours to do that and clean it all up.
I think working over your head is often a little bit more challenging than working, eye level and ground level.
Under your head?
Sure, yeah. 68 for me.
Okay.
That's a very specific number. I'll just agree with Travis. That sounds about right to me.
All right. So I had big plans of doing the downstairs trim of my entire downstairs of my house. So I measured the entire downstairs and ordered trim, and then realized that that's going to be way too much money, so I canceled the order. So all I did was measure the downstairs for trim, which took maybe 15 minutes.
I'll give you like a 5.
I was thinking, 5.
5.
I mean, you
can be
measured
thankful for those 5.
It's a thing you did. I don't know. Sure 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's see. I cleaned up behind my garage. I had previously, like a couple weeks ago, I had did like a ton of work. It took me all day to clear out a bunch of brush from behind my garage. But now I was just throwing stuff away and took a huge load to the dump. But the dump had a huge backup, so I had to sit in the car for an hour and a half with my kids waiting to go throw stuff into the dump by myself with the boys. So
The time delay doesn't do anything for me.
I was just gonna say, like, I don't care how long you're waiting in line. That doesn't have anything to do with the task itself. But the task itself sounds like that's a project that you've probably been wanting to do for a while, I'm assuming.
it is, yeah.
I
would say I'm not completely done with it. I maybe got 50% done with it.
Oh, okay, Mike.
Well, it's a big job.
I think 40 for me.
I was gonna go straight down the middle on this one with a 50.
Okay. Okay. So, the last big one is I've been kind of working with the guy that owns the jiu-jitsu studio that I've been working with to kind of figure out, he wants to give people a discount and, from the town that I work in, which kind of the culmination of that was I got Travis to come with me once to jiu-jitsu this last week. I think he's going to come a couple more times. Is that the plan? Yep.
As I understand, it was quite an experience.
Yeah, we'll get to that. That's one of the things that it's on my list too. So
yeah,
okay.
So
you guys are working together here. I don't know if this is fair.
Well,
we did say that we could work with other people.
That is true.
That is true. We did specifically say that. All right.
So your progress is getting him to offer the discount?
Well, kind of figuring out what that is, talking to people at work, and then we got you to come with me, but you kind of did that by yourself.
To me, that doesn't speak.
It took a lot of time.
Project.
It was a project for me.
It sounds like something you did. I don't know if I'd count that as like a project.
You can give me a 0 if you want, Dan.
Travis, what are your thoughts on this one? This one is I'm not sure about this one.
The email that you sent out to our department at work as a kind of informational, was that within this 2 weeks or before it?
That was that's a good point.
That was before, wasn't it?
Well, it was a week. It was last week, and then no, that one was last week. So it was the week before last.
Was it within the challenge or no?
It was. Yeah.
I think I'll give you a 20 on that one, I think.
It was a coordinating effort, Dan.
Okay. I'll give you 25. I'm very appreciative of the effort you put in, but just kind of chatting with the owner and stuff, it's not a lot of effort, but I do appreciate it.
It was okay, fine. So the rest of the stuff is like, I don't know. I cleaned my house today.
See, that's something because I did that, okay. And I was thinking like, that's just chores. That's not a project.
All right,
because I cleaned my house too because I was so productive, and I was like, I'm gonna clean as well. So
yeah. So the very last one I got on here is I waxed my nose hairs. That's a project.
That's just self-maintenance, Mike. That's a 0. Get out of here.
We're not going to reward you for taking a shower either.
I got a haircut.
You guys have clearly never done this before.
I have drill this weekend, and I'm trying to make my mustache military like standard. And for some reason, while I was trimming my mustache hairs, I got an image of like the meticulousness of trimming a bonsai tree. sort of related, but I doubt that counts.
I heard that mustaches are coming back in style because of the new Top Gun movie.
Sure.
Really?
Yeah, because there's a guy who has a mustache, and he's like, ooh la la. He's like a handsome fella, and all the ladies are all about it.
I've seen more of them kind of coming around.
Yeah.
I think that would be good for America.
Yeah.
All right.
right,
Well, that's basically all I had. I mean,
Okay.
yep. There you go.
All right, I'll go next.
Okay.
So, in no particular order, last winter, I finished remodeling our living room, which is a fairly large room. It used to be 2 rooms, and they knocked out the wall and made it one big room. I didn't finish it then, but there was some trim left over that wasn't attached. Some of it we had to glue on. So I finished that this week, or I guess last week now. So used Mike's nail gun, air compressor, and stuff like that, and I had to measure, trim, nail it to the wall, all that stuff. It was probably, I don't know, 12 cuts and pieces, if that gives you any perspective on how much. And then if you consider it separate or together, I also then, after I had attached those things, I went back and for all the trim in those rooms, I had to caulk the edges, seal the edges and stuff. So the caulking took me probably 4.5 hours for that room. And then, of course, as I started doing the trim in our living room, Holly mentioned to me that when we had a leak in our bathroom a couple years ago, and the contractor that fixed it did a really terrible job in one corner. So she's like, "Hey, while you got all the tools out, why don't you spruce up that corner?" So I got roped into redoing some of that. So that got part of it too.
Okay.
That's
So
that's
applying
a legit project there.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think I'll give you a 75 for that one. That feels
Okay.
about right to me.
Boy, I feel like that's higher than that. I feel like that's like I'm gonna give you like a 90. And it's like complete now?
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
that
like, I
does
mean,
add
that's
up.
almost like that's like a good one.
I'm
Dang.
gonna go as high as 88.
I'm gonna stick with 90. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll go-
we'll take that. The other thing that was left over in that room, I had patched some drywall on the ceiling, and we had gotten the drywall up and sanded and all that stuff last fall, but there was a bunch of spots on the ceiling that needed to be kind of painted. So painting the walls where they joined painted the ceiling where they joined the walls, and then painting over where we had replaced the drywall and stuff. So I painted, which took me probably, I think, around 6 hours. And in the interest of full disclosure, we thought we had the paint that was used on the original ceiling because I don't know, the prior owners had left us the remnants of a 5-gallon jug. So I used that, and I wanted to get it done, so I didn't do like a test and then check to see how it works. So anyway, I spent 6 hours painting the stuff on there, and then the next day we went down there and realized that it looked worse. Worse than if I had not done it at all.
no.
There's like a different level of glossiness. What's on the ceiling for the most part is like kind of a flat eggshell, and what's on there now is kind of a glossy white.
Oh.
No.
Did you
Yeah.
redo it then, or is that how it is right now?
I'm gonna have to redo it, but I'll have to find paint to match. So
Okay, Travis, though. So we did say if you take a step back,
We did.
there might be penalties.
which it
Yep,
sounds
and
like
I'm the
you
one that
sort
brought
of
it up. Yeah.
it sounds like you sort of might have made a little bit more work for yourself.
Well, I don't know if it's more work. I think it's just work that needs to be redone.
Yeah, I'll say this. It's not. It was kind of jokey. It's not worse than it started. I'm kind of considering it like coat 1 of paint, and then I'm gonna get the better stuff and just paint over the top of the other stuff.
Just like a
That's what I was
primer.
gonna. That's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say, because you do end up needing like more than one coat normally anyway. So this would probably cover
Yeah.
pretty good, you
Yeah.
know.
I mean,
So,
So you can
that's
add,
hard.
put a punishment in there. It was a lot of time, and it sucks painting. I hate it.
Yeah, we've all
Especially when
been
it's
there.
all above your head, like burning
Yeah.
shoulders and
yeah,
ugh. That was
Yeah.
not. I mean, factor in the misery of painting, and then trying to paint meticulously, like where the ceiling meets the walls, and try not to like drip paint. Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it really is a step backwards because you'd probably need to do another coat anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm
That's
gonna
true.
give you a 70 for that one.
I feel like
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a neutral 50 on that one.
Okay. I have some visual aids here.
Excellent.
Yeah, I realized that I didn't take very many pictures. I took one picture.
All right. So 2 weeks ago, this was a picture of our garden with our chicken coop. I just put it in Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I'll show you what it looks like today. All right.
Ooh, what do we got going
So,
on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I extended
what am I
our
looking at?
garden. So if you look at the first picture, there's a bunch of grass, and you can use kind of the planter on the right that's overgrown.
Okay, yeah.
That's kind of where I dug further too. So I scraped the top layer of sod off, and we're going to be planting more stuff on there. More, vegetables and pumpkins, stuff like that. So
Okay.
probably combined effort of, I think, 8 hours. Just scraping the sod off and then taking a wheelbarrow and taking the sod to different places in the yard. So yeah, I extended our garden.
That looks like a lot of work actually.
That's have you planted stuff in there and everything already?
No, not yet. We have to till, and we have like an old like a manual tiller, but we used it so much we broke off some of the tines of it. So we got to buy another one.
No.
That's a big garden, dude.
It gets bigger every year.
Oh boy, you keep doing all these like legitimate actual projects.
I thought you guys, like the way you guys talked in the first part, like you had like projects lined up for days, and I was like, well, I better get to
I
work.
do.
I do.
It doesn't mean that I did them.
Yeah, man.
That's a good one again. Okay. So it's progress on a project. You didn't finish the project, but you definitely did a lot of work, and you definitely made a lot of progress on this project.
Yeah, there's a lot of effort to be done there.
That's another 90, I think.
Yeah, I think
I'm gonna give you another 90 for that.
I think I'm gonna give you a 90 as well. That looks like a lot of work. So
I'd give you 100 if you tilled it and planted in it.
Okay.
Just because it's not complete, but I'm going to give you a 90 just because in 2 weeks that seems like a lot of effort to put, especially if you're already doing this other project. Dang it, Travis!
Well,
you're so productive.
We'll see what yours are. I'm not done yet though.
Okay.
Okay, so that's our backyard garden. I also worked in our front yard garden, our flower garden. So I'll bring on some more visual aids. Here is our front yard garden last week. So
Looks like a lot of overgrown square wooden garden blocks.
very very weedy, very overgrown. So the half on the other side of the picture was there last year. Earlier this spring, I extended this flower garden, but that was already done before we started this. I will show you what we did in this garden this last week. Actually, just finished it earlier today. So combined effort.
Oh my god, that looks beautiful.
Thanks. Holly did a lot of the weeding, so full disclosure, but we did say we could have help. And because we had to constantly, pass the baby back and forth, I took every little bit of her help I could. So she did actually, basically all the weeding. I did a little bit, but not much. I did all the pavers and, just kind of general dirt moving. So we tidied up our flower garden, and here we didn't. Holly did plant some things, some flowers. I think that was in the last 2 weeks, but it'll take time for it to come up.
Okay. So this is like done. You finished this one.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And it looks really good, you guys.
Thanks.
It looks good, Travis.
Dang it, Travis! You did such a good job.
Well, I said Holly gets at least 50% of the credit too, but
then you get
it is nice being able to look at our front.
And you get 50% of it.
Now. It is really nice because this is a garden that we see when we look outside our front window. So it's nice having it not
come to your house.
Yeah, it's not overgrown. We've got the pavers in, and we put the pavers in because those bushes are like fruit bearing. Some of them are a type of cherry, and then we have I can never remember it. It's a weird fusion between like blueberries and grapes or something like that.
Lapes.
Yep, nailed it. So yeah, what do you think on that one?
It's, Travis. All right, I'm gonna give you another 90.
I mean, I kind of want to give you 100
Well,
on this
okay.
one.
To
I
be
mean,
fair,
you're allowed to.
I'm going with 90 because I mean it looks like a lot of work, but it's not the most work.
That's true. Okay, well, okay. Yeah. 95. You're getting 95 from me.
All right, I'm happy with that. Okay.
You didn't like rebuild your house or something.
True. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know what 100 would look like, but that's pretty
I
dang
think
close
when we
to
see
it.
100, we'll know it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I also put in some time working on the game. This last week, I changed my work hours so that I am no longer starting at 6. I'm starting at 7. So every morning I was getting up and working on the game before work. And I was doing some other stuff before that, but I think I put in about 4.5 hours of time working on writing and just general administrative task list, stuff like that. So,
Okay. And I don't know if we've said this out loud, but me, Mike, and Travis are currently working on a video game together.
oh, yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
And it's gonna be the best.
It's gonna be the best game ever.
Just
It's
you
going to
wait.
be a video game.
Yeah.
All right. So Mike worked on the game for 12 hours. You said you worked on it for 4.5.
Yeah.
How much did what score did we give you, Mike?
You guys gave me an 80 and a 70. It seems low considering what we've been giving Travis.
Well, then I'll give Travis. What? Okay. What would be the math there?
I think so. You did less than half of the amount of work than me. So
Give you a 35 for that because you could have worked on it more, Travis.
Yeah. With all my free time.
yeah. All right, I'll give you a 40, Travis.
All right. I'm okay with that. It's not a project, and I don't expect points for it, but kept a teething toddler alive. That's kind of a continuing project.
If I don't get to count waxing my nose hairs, you don't get to count keeping children alive.
Keeping children alive that's you don't get to count that because I don't have children and I would like those points.
Yeah. All right. I said I didn't expect points, but that did prevent me from being more productive. Okay. So then next one, I started jujitsu. This is not so much a project, but kind of a lifelong pursuit or something that I've wanted to get back into. We did a little bit like the Marine Corps has Marine Corps martial arts, which I don't want to brag, but I was a black belt, which means nothing, and it is nothing. But since
you were a black belt, which you're calling nothing, I was a gray belt, which is one step up of what you get straight out of boot camp. So
but anyway,
I was much lower.
Yeah, and during the McMap and stuff, you do grappling and you learn some jujitsu stuff, and I kind of enjoyed that. I find grappling is like, I don't know, it's a great hobby. It's a very humbling experience. So for a long time, I've wanted to get back into it, and I did. I went to the first class here of jujitsu, and it exacted a cost on my feet. I got like some pretty gnarly like mat burn on my feet. And for you guys, I will upload a visual aid here also.
Oh, good.
Oh no.
So I have 7 little cuts of various sizes on my feet, on the top of my feet.
Why are they on the top of your feet?
Because you're often like moving
There's
around
a lot
quickly on your
you're doing
knees.
some strange things with your body in jujitsu, Dan. You should try it. It's pretty great.
So I learned that the top of my feet are not very resilient to damage or anything.
Well, I bought some new shoes recently, and I have this big old bruise on the top of my feet from my new shoes. So
You don't get any points for that, Dan.
no.
So I mean, I'm not looking for points for the injuries taken, but just taking a step towards a lifelong goal.
I think I would say that the project that is yourself is worth something.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be worth a lot. I mean, I'm glad you came with me, Travis, but I'm not
Yeah,
going to
it
give
was a
you.
good time.
Yeah, I'm going to
Give
give
you
you.
10.
I'm going to give you 15 because I saw you working. We're actually we grappled with each other. It was
Yeah, and you didn't tap me out, so I call
I
that a
got
win.
close once. Yeah.
Yeah. When I got home, I think you said this, Mike. I explained it to Holly that jujitsu is kind of the most fun that you can have while also getting another man's sweat in your mouth.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing. Good.
Yeah, but it was a good time. Okay, moving on. All right, so my last one, well, for your consideration, I guess, is I laid the groundwork for another project, another sort of podcast, another thing that we're going to do together. This kind of a game podcast thing. And I kind of pitched the idea, developed it a little bit internally, and then I convinced you guys to play a video game that
Is
we will.
that what you were doing? You were just doing it for this podcast?
Well, no,
Oh my God.
I feel so
You've been playing
betrayed.
us this whole time.
Yeah. Can you believe I made you play a video game for this?
How dare you? I trusted
Joke's
you.
on you. I haven't played it yet.
Well, I have a little bit. So what we're doing, I don't want to spill the beans yet, but we're going to be playing a video game and then discussing it pretty in depth. But I'm planning on recording footage and putting it on YouTube and stuff like that too. So I have started playing, and I did learn how to do like video capture, and I've been working on video editing for that project, whatever that's worth.
I'm gonna
I
give
feel
you.
betrayed about that one.
I'm gonna give you 10 for that one, Travis. I know it's been a little bit of effort learning
Yeah.
the video stuff.
I think that's like beginning a project.
Yeah.
Which could become a big project.
You guys gave me 5
but,
for something.
Uh,
Oh, that was just for measuring the trim. Okay.
yeah. I feel like that could have even been 0.
Push
Mike.
back on that, why don't you?
Don't push your luck here, bud. That's I don't know. I mean, I guess that the concept of beginning another large project, I'll give you 20
All right,
on that
I'll
one.
take that. All right,
60.
and that's all I got.
All
right.
right, Dan, lay it on us.
Okay, well, so you guys didn't organize yours. I did happen to organize my projects that I did from small to bigger.
Okay.
So
You don't get credit for that.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just ignore the first one on here then. No, I'm just kidding. So I do have like a million little things in my house that I need to work on. And like I said before, I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't do a lot more of the small little things that I did, but I did do a few of the small ones. So one of the things was that the people that moved out of the house that I bought, I think they took the toilet paper holders with them. So I haven't had any toilet paper holders. So I installed toilet paper holders in both of my bathrooms.
Nice.
Which I would say took about 20 minutes total.
Okay. That sounds like a 15, 20 maybe.
I'll give you, like, you had to go to the store and buy them and stuff, I suppose.
Well, I mean, I did buy them before the 2 weeks, but I've just sort of had them, but I hadn't gotten around to installing them yet.
Okay, I'm
All
gonna give you a 10, I guess, for that.
I'll go 15 because you already bought them.
That's fair. Another one is the dryer. So my clothes dryer, the vent that goes from the dryer to like the outside was busted. So I have a new one, and I installed that, which actually took a lot more time. It probably took about a half hour. It took a lot more time than I thought it would be because I had to use a lot of duct tape because it didn't fit perfectly.
Okay.
All right, I'll give you a 25 for that.
I was thinking like a 40 probably. Because that's not a fun job. Anything with the washer and dryer and
I
stuff.
suppose.
Well, I also had to like wipe because it wasn't. I didn't have one connected very well. It was like busted. It sprayed dryer lint all over, so I had to clean up a lot of that, and I had to wipe it down so that the duct tape would connect to it. So it was a little bit more than just putting it on there. Like I had to like take a lot of stuff apart. I had to pull it out. It was a lot more involved than it would be in a normal house.
Did you have to like cram yourself behind your dryer? I know it's kind of like in the corner there.
Yeah, the space that it's in is very tight, and I couldn't do it in the winter because there's this pipe from the boiler that like is super, super hot, and if I'm back there doing it, then like every once in a while my arm touches it and I get a burn from it. So like I had to wait until the summer so my boiler wasn't going. It's like a very crammed little, very uncomfortable space where you swear at the things that you're using a lot.
If you had risked bodily injury, I would have given you higher, but I think I'm sticking with 40.
I'm gonna give you 35. I think that's you talked me into it.
So the next small one that I did, I have my bike, which I haven't been able to ride for about a year, I guess, because it's kind of been rusted and tires are flat, just hasn't been used in a while. So I took my WD-40 and some wipes and air pump, and I got my bike in working order, which it didn't take that long, to be honest, maybe 30 minutes. It took me to get my bike, but I was able to ride around the block a couple times and stuff. So I got my bike going.
Okay, that doesn't sound too bad. I'm going to give you a 20 for that.
Yeah, I think 25. That it sounds like a good thing to have out of the way, but I'm taken back to like summer afternoons where you just like flip your bike up onto its handlebars and then like work the pedal while you spray WD-40 and then you're back on the road.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be an unpleasant experience.
Oh, sure,
it's still a project.
You're gonna get more.
It.
I mean, you'll get more points if it is unpleasant, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think 25.
The next small project I did. So I have not had I don't know if this. Okay, this is one. Well, I'll just tell you what I did. I got a dining room table.
Nice.
And I put it in my dining room, and then that encouraged me to reorganize my living room.
Your dining table, did you have to assemble it?
I did have to assemble it. I had to carry it by myself from my car to my house and then put it together. I had to measure the table length and that sort of stuff. I mean, it wasn't a lot of work, but it's something that that I've needed for a long time and I've wanted. I don't know how much of a project necessarily I would call it, but it's something that I did in the last 2 weeks that has improved my life drastically.
Okay.
So take
how much
you will.
How much did I give you for the bike?
20.
I feel like that's the same amount of work. I'm going to say 20.
I was going to go probably, how hard is a table to assemble?
It's not very hard.
Okay, because like a year and a half ago, we got like a big, like a real wooden table and stuff. And that took me like, 2.5 hours of just like fiddling with screws in hard places and stuff. So if yours
it was mostly assembled already.
Okay. I'm going to go, I think 43.
Wow, that's more than I thought it would be. But
you rearrange your living room, assemble your table.
Yeah, no, and it's legitimately like just having a table, like a table to sit at is like I can't. My life is so much better with it.
You feel less like you're squatting at your house.
Well, yeah, because I would have to like sit on my couch, and I have this like
eating your microwaved hot pockets off your lap.
Yeah,
while you squat on the floor.
Essentially,
around the garbage can that you have burning in the middle of your living room.
You're not far off, is what I'm saying. Yeah. All right. Well, let me get to the slightly bigger projects that I worked on.
Okay.
Those are the smaller ones. I in order to get a couch into my basement, we had to disassemble the retaining wall to the the window to my basement. So we took a whole bunch of the bricks out, and like a bunch of dirt kind of poured down, but like we were able to finally get the couch down at the right angle. And this retaining wall has been disassembled and it looks awful, and just bricks are kind of laid out all over my backyard. So I took all those bricks and I put them back together on my retaining wall, and now it looks very nice.
Oh.
I would say that took me maybe 45 minutes to do.
I'm gonna give you 60 for that because I bet it was a fair amount of effort to do.
I literally have a Band-Aid on my finger right now from doing that.
You poor,
So I did get injured.
Poor dear.
Yeah.
All right. I'm having a hard time imagining what this looks like, because when you say a retaining wall, I'm like, did you mess with like the structural integrity of your home, or was it just like a thing that was in the way that you had to?
Well, so it's like a egress window,
right?
And then there's a retaining wall that like that little area.
Okay.
With like all the bricks below, so it's just like it's a small little retaining wall, and I didn't disassemble the whole thing, just maybe like 20, 25 bricks, but I had to like re-dig it, and then replace them and kind of make sure that the right ones were fitted in the right place and everything like that.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you, I think, 65.
Next one. I also worked on the video game. I spent, I think, about 6.5 hours doing various things on the video game.
Okay. If we split the difference between our two, that puts you at like a 50-55, right?
Yeah. Well, if we split the difference, it'd be like a 60. I'll give you a 55.
Okay.
Sure, 55.
I'll take it. Another thing I was working on. So my dehumidifier in my basement, I have a very moist basement. And my dehumidifier for some reason keeps shutting off. And I spent a lot of time, I would say, probably like 3 hours total, maybe like 4 hours. I'm not sure exactly, of trying to figure out why this thing kept shutting off. I took it apart a little bit. I cleaned the filter. I did all these different things. I changed the settings. I read the manual. And I didn't fix it, but I did spend a lot of time working on it. It still does it, but I did spend a lot of time. I'd spent a lot of time working on this project.
I mean,
I think I'm at like a 15 for the frustration of like not being able to figure out a thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a 17 and a half.
Okay. I appreciate those points because I can tell you that there was a lot of frustration involved in that.
Yeah.
All right. Before I get to my biggest projects, I wanted to have some honorable mentions that I didn't get to. My garage, you guys have seen it, but it's tilted. So most garages stand at a 90-degree angle. Mine is more at like a, what would you say, like a 85, maybe
might
80
even
degree
be more
angle.
than that. Yeah.
It's just sort of slanting to the side, the whole building.
I think it's tilted at pretty close to like the Leaning Tower of Pisa angle.
Yeah. I would say very.
And that was something I really, really wanted to do, but I had no idea how to fix it, and I didn't have the resources, so I didn't.
Yeah.
The other one was I was going to repaint all the walls in my house, but I just didn't get to it because there's a lot of glitter all over my house.
There is a lot of glitter.
The people that lived here before really, really
like
like glitter, and they just put glitter all over everything. So I'm just living with glitter for now. But
I'd say
anyways,
that would have been 100 if you repainted
Yeah.
yeah,
If you
well,
could remove the
yeah.
glitter,
I just, you know what? I didn't get to it.
that
I
kind of
had,
just kind of assaults the eyes when you go into your living
Yeah.
room there.
we'll just kind of be, that's fine. So my biggest projects that I worked on, I think the biggest and most important um, project is myself.
Okay.
Okay.
So I've been working out every day.
Nice.
Um, that's what that is. I would say about 20 minutes every day.
Oh, that's it.
That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah. I'm sore right now. I've been working out. I feel like that's a big project. That's like a lifelong project, but I did make progress. I definitely worked out. I hadn't worked out for maybe a month or so, and I feel good. I feel good.
Okay.
I mean it's good. I'm happy for you, Dan, but I feel like this is kind of that self-maintenance thing.
It's kind of in chore territory.
Yeah,
But you
little
did
bit.
give me points for starting jujitsu.
I did do that, didn't I?
If we give you points for this, I want to retroactively add that I started walking to work every day. If that's worth anything.
I've continued doing jujitsu. Can I get points for that?
This
You know,
is,
it's fine. I'll just take a 0. It's fine. I just was gonna.
I
Throw
think
it
I
out.
am going to give you 15 for getting back on the horse.
I'm gonna give you 5 points, Dan. 5 points.
You know what? I'll take it. All right. Another one of the bigger ones that I did. My accordion. 3 of the keys were completely broken. They the it's not. It's like it looks like ivory, but it's like plastic. But like they came off, and then like the keys were sticking and wouldn't even work. So I first I went and I bought some glue to just glue it back on, but then that didn't fix the sticking. So then I started disassembling it. And I don't know how accordions work. I can play them, but I don't know how like the inner mechanics work. So I took my accordion apart piece by piece, and then I ended up taking the full keyboard apart. I took every key off, and I basically cleaned them all, and I put them back together one by one, um, and I had to sand down some of the glue that I put on. I had to sand down some of the wood that that was kind of I think it was expanding a little bit just from humidity. I'm not sure exactly why, but I had to sand down a bunch of wood and like put each key back together. And this took a very long time. I didn't time myself, but it took like one entire Sunday.
Okay.
And
Does it work?
it worked. Yeah, I fixed it. Yeah, it works perfectly fine. I was playing it. I fixed it, and then by like I'd say like 10 o'clock, and then I played it until I had to go to sleep.
Nice.
That's yeah, that's pretty good.
I think I'm at like a 93
Yeah, I'm
because
gonna
that
go.
sounds very meticulous.
It does sound like a lot of work, and it's a lot of time too. I'll give you a 96.
Ooh,
It might be our highest one yet.
Well, he did complete it too.
That's
so-
true.
I did complete it. It's fully functional now.
Yeah. Good job, Dan.
Good job, Dan.
Thanks. That was a lot. That was a lot of work. Actually, my hand was really sore because I had to like. There's this like bar that you have to stick through the keys, and it wouldn't go. It's a very old accordion, so I had to like. I don't know. I had to like grip it really hard, and my whole forearm was super sore. Anyways, the next biggest project that I was doing was I have been at war with the dandelions in my yard. This is one I did take a picture of. I don't have it available to send to Discord, but I can do that. It'd just take a minute or two. My entire I think I had more dandelions than I had grass in my yard at the beginning of these 2 weeks. And through a series of multiple days of mowing, hand just pulling them up by hand and spraying poison all over my yard and using my weed whacker, I would say I am nearly dandelion free. I would say I got rid of 95% probably of the dandelions in my yard. Like there were, I mean, I'm not joking. There were so many dandelions and I hated them. And they're pretty much all gone right now. And yeah, I spent, I mowed the lawn multiple times. I mowed it twice. I took a weed whacker to it. I went out there on my hands and knees and was pulling up dandelions. I didn't really count how many hours I spent, but I would say probably like 4 hours, maybe, probably a good estimate of just working on killing all of the dandelions in my yard. And it's pretty successful.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna take a controversial stance here, maybe. That a little bit falls into chore territory. I didn't mention that I like mowed the lawn and did regular lawn maintenance, but I also think that I'm not a big fan of people that hate all dandelions and like go to drastic ends to get rid of all dandelions because they're just like,
Don't bring your political opinions in here.
I'm just saying. I'm gonna give you, I think, I got 28 because it's sort of a chore. Your yard's not very big. I know that much.
It's not small.
If I give you much more, then I'm gonna demand points for just mowing my yard.
I kind of agree with Travis. Like the mowing stuff, I don't think that really counts. I mean, going and plucking dandelions by hand, that I've done that.
I sprayed poison as well.
That's kind of fun though.
That's not a mark in your favor in my point.
I know I didn't really want to do it, but like I really wanted to kill all the dandelions.
I'm gonna
Look at
give
the
you.
bees, man.
I got other flowers. I got plenty of other flowers.
That's true.
I just want to get rid of the dandelions.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a 42. Yep, that's what it is.
All right, those are way lower numbers than I thought I'd get for that one. That's fine. All right. Well, all right. My final thing, and I would say this is a project that I have been working on for a while.
Mhm.
I have been working on a children's book.
Nice.
And I'm doing it with me and Mike's sister Diana. She's doing the illustrations. And we have the first draft done.
Really? Did you get
As of yesterday, we have first draft done.
Is that
Awesome.
like all the pictures and everything?
Pictures and words. I mean, not all of the pictures are fully colored and everything, but yeah, we got pictures and pages and everything. Yeah. So
What progress was made in the last 2 weeks?
mostly me encouraging Diana to finish it.
So you were being the
I
the
called her.
taskmaster?
I called her a couple times and was saying, "Hey, it would be really cool if you would finish this." So I could say I did it on a podcast, but we did it. But by doing that, we have the first draft done, and I have all the images and everything, and it's ready to go. I could probably send it to some agents or publishers or something at this point. So
That's really cool.
That's cool.
that is a project that I have that's been near and dear to my heart. That is finally making progress.
I think this is very in keeping with the spirit of the challenge, Dan. I'm gonna give you for this one a 97.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's
Dang.
way higher than I was thinking.
Well,
You know, it's like-
I know how long-
I mean, I will say I didn't put much effort into it these last 2 weeks.
Okay, I'm gonna give you an 87.
Okay, I should stop talking then.
that's kind of what I was thinking. It's like I know that you've done a lot of work on it in the past, and that it's been a lot of effort, but and there is genuine effort in doing kind of the project management and just getting other people to do things. I think I'm at like a 67. Just because within the last 2 weeks it wasn't as hands-on. I don't know. I'm happy for you. I hope that you guys move pretty quickly from here. But as far as effort in the last 2 weeks, that's all I got.
All right. I'll take it. And that's all I got.
Okay. Well, good work, everybody. Everyone's been busy beavers. So now we need to tally up all the points that we received and then see who's the winner. So
So are we just adding? So you guys both gave me a score. We're just adding all the scores that we got together.
yeah, add
Yep.
all of them together.
Math time.
Math time.
Did everybody get their numbers?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I will go first because I submitted first. So I got 661 is my number.
Okay.
I
I'll go
do
next.
I do not think I won this.
You didn't.
Yep, I can say you didn't, but you did. You worked hard, and that's worth something. My number is 793.
Okay.
Really? Even after all those 90s that we gave you?
I think so. I can double check, but I mean, 793 is a lot. I think I had fewer things than you did. You went a bunch of small
true.
things. I went a couple big ones.
Yeah.
That was
true.
kind of my strategy. I had a bunch of small projects. I have 908.5.
Aw, get out of here, Dan.
Yeah, I think the small tasks were probably the smart way to go because we were top heavy in our ratings. So
Yeah, that's true. It should have been crueler. Kind of don't let you kind of feel like, oh, I don't want to hurt your feelings. You tried.
You can't. You don't just go ahead and hurt my feelings. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm gonna take away 200 points from you. How's that make you feel?
That really hurts, Mike.
See, told you. Can't stand the heat. Get out of the kitchen, Dan. And I'm the chef.
It's a good metaphor.
I'm making soup.
Oh man.
I'm making pain soup.
Oh, good lord.
Bringing the pain, cooking the pain.
all right, let me double check. I'm looking at my numbers and they don't actually seem. It doesn't seem right.
Wait, you want to should we re-add them?
Yeah, I'll do mine here because I was doing it. I'm not manually, but just punching into a calculator. We can cut this out.
Okay. Let me re-add mine.
Let's serve up the pain here.
If mine were wrong, I blame Mike. In fact, I'm going to start over again because Mike. I cannot do two things at once.
I do numbers, man. I can type numbers in like crazy. I got the exact same number. I'm right on here.
All right,
I'm telling you.
my calculator crapped the bed.
What's going on here, Travis?
I don't know how to use computers. We'll need to cut probably.
Okay.
We'll cut all this out. We'll cut out Travis's inability to use a calculator.
My shame can never be known. Why is my numlock? Maybe that's what's going on. There. Stand by.
I remember back in the day when we were homeschooled. Remember for that year, Mike? And
Yep.
I practiced Mavis Beacon all the time, and I practiced on the number pad. And I was like, someday I'm gonna be really good at that. I've achieved it. I'm a super expert at it because I type numbers in all the time at work. I'm like, but. It's pretty awesome.
It's all coming up, Dan.
It's all coming together. It's all years of practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
All right. It was all for naught, and that was a huge waste of time. It was 793. Glad we did that.
908.5.
Yeah, I guess in keeping with the way we knew this was going to go, you absolutely crushed us.
Well, it's okay. So there's gonna be some changes around here.
I will say it does feel a little bit bad. It's like it was a lot of time spent working in the garden, but It's due to the weighting of our scale, but I'm okay with it.
Okay, so well, we have a clear winner again. Closing
Dan.
thoughts, everybody. This was kind of a, I don't know, man. Like we said, it stressed me out. It was like a week or 2 weeks of just kind of being stressed out and feeling like I needed to be doing more work. Which, I mean, it was good to get stuff done. I know this was my idea, but it was kind of a, I don't know. I didn't enjoy this one. I'm happy I knocked some stuff out, but it would have been, I would have liked to do it in my time.
It's fine. I mean, I came up with Screenicus, or the Screenicus idea, and I absolutely hated that one.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think
mean,
this is
I was stressed out quite a bit, but like I said, like once you do something that like a lot of these things that I did, like the retaining wall, it didn't take that much time. I mean, it took some time and effort and injury, but like once you're done with it, it's like there's a small relief. But if you do a bunch of them in succession, like I feel like I've been feeling pretty good, honestly. Like I was stressed out because I had all these things I needed to do, but like even though I still have a lot of stuff I need to do, like it felt pretty good getting this little tiny relief just doing all these little things.
Yeah, I'm with Mike. This challenge didn't really do it for me. It's good to be productive, and Holly said to thank you, Mike, for suggesting this challenge because I think she's happy with the results.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It's done now. I'm glad I did it, and I'm happy I don't have to do all these other things anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you still do. You're just
That's
not
true.
like under a time constraint.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Now presenting the busiest beaver, Dan Collins.
Well, it's really great to be recognized for being very productive, being the most productive person in this group. I would just like to say that I think that people out there, if you have something that's going to take 10 minutes, 20 minutes that you've been thinking about, it's been on your mind, just do it. Just get it done. You'll feel better. And then you can move on to other, better, bigger things that are maybe more important. And it'll make your life a little bit better. You did great.
Next time on Perpetual Incompetence.
I'm so good at talking to people, but then when I am not in a professional setting, it just shuts off and my brain turns to mush, and then I talk like a lazy stoner,